For every parent, biological, adoptive, foster, spiritual, or even a community leader who's ever thought that I am not enough. Whether you're raising toddlers, teenagers, you probably had moments where you thought, I have no idea what I am doing. Some of you may have felt unequipped to raise the children who are in your care. But I want to remind you and inform you today that you are graced. Grace to parent. Not grace to be perfect, but grace to parent.
Walking through, the things that moms walk through, like, Lord, am I doing this right? I have a phenomenal mom, so I'm so blessed. I feel like I'm biased, but I feel like I have the greatest mother in the universe. And that adds a little pressure because you're like, well, can I do it like that? And then you look at other moms, you're like, can I do it like that? And so just having to be really aware of, like, God has graced me to be the mother that my kids need. And just having it's every day. Let
that be a sobering thought. Your child is not a random assignment. They are a divine creation.
It's before I had anything to do with it, right?
Before the foundations of the world. Yes.
They were already a part of the plan, right? And so it's like those reminders, like, well before there was even me. Wow. God was already thinking about them. It can be a heavy thing, but it's so serious. You don't want to. You're like, Lord, I don't want to mess up this thing you trusted me with, right? I want to get it right. I want to honor you, right? I think that's what I think about often. Like, Lord, I want to honor you in the way I'm treating these kids, but I have to remember He loves them more than me. Like, that was that thought when I got that, like, you love them way more than I do, right? Like, when it came to sending our 3-year-old off to a little school, and I was just so concerned. I was like, I don't know these people. They don't love him like I do. They don't know his little quirks. Like, what if he, gets scared and acts all the things? And it was just this reminder of, like, you don't even love them as much as I do. Like, don't you think I have him taken care of? And so it's just, I have to remind myself of that often. Like, I could never love them as much as God already does. You know what I mean?
And it's made such a big difference to not be so intense about parenting, and even just to put it on the table. I'm just gonna make mistakes. I'm not perfect. We have all adults, but still, it's an ongoing journey and an ongoing walk of recognizing the mistakes that were made and not waddling in those things that were made from the past, and just saying, okay, Lord, it's under the blood, and today is a new day, and we have a chance to get it right again and show up in a better version of ourselves with more love and more patience.
Am I exercising these things with my kids and with my husband, right? Am I showing love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control? Like, and I have to remember that, because I'm like, God has given me, like, humans, like real humans to actually care for. And so that, that's a weight even in and of itself. And so just being like, Lord, these are your fruit, first of all.
That's right. They belong to you.
They belong to you.
And I'm giving them back to you for you to show me what to do with them.
Often a woman heard us in the airport before, and I was telling him, he got kind of frustrated, and he, snapped. And I said, let's try that another way. Let's try it again. And she was like, oh, that's a great thing to say as a parent. I was thinking, yes, we could ask her, let's try again, right? Because we don't always do that. Sometimes we forget and we just snap and, like, you better not. And it's like, let's try again. And it's like, oh, you got this, right? Like, we are all being, used to do the Lord's work.
Right.
That's it. That's the assignment. Like, Lord, take my hands, take these kids. You see them yelling. You see them tearing up my house. You see the things.
You see
right?
it all.
You see it all. You see us wanting to pull our hair out. But you've graced us for this, even when we want to, run out the house and leave them there to just have their way with it. You've graced us for the moment. Yeah.
He really has. And I think about just the Father's love in wanting to keep us close. And there was distance under the law, and welcome to Changing Your World broadcast. I'm so elated to have our special guest, Kendra Ketter-Chavis, again on set today to talk more about parenting. She has been such a blessing to my life, and I believe you are going to be blessed today. Welcome.
Thank Thank you.
Welcome
It's
back.
So good. Thank you. I'm glad to be back. I love being here with you.
So let's continue. We're just going to pick up where we left
go.
off. And I mean, we are on this journey of figuring it out as we go. We
Yes.
talked about so many different things. Let's start with the different styles of parenting, because there are different ways in which we label ourselves.
Yes.
I'm this, I'm not that. I'm old school, I'm new school.
Yes, and there's a lot of temptation for moms to even pit ourselves against each other, right? Like, my style is better, when there's already so much pressure to figure out what is my style going to be? Am I going to be like my mom? Am I going to be everything but my mom? Am I going to be like my favorite auntie who I thought was the best mom because she wasn't my mom, right? Like, and we're trying to figure out, do I follow all the cyber moms and pick one of those, right? Am I a gentle parent? Am I, a strong disciplinarian? And I think it's really like it has to boil down to praying, right? I mean, and I hate that it sounds simplistic in today's, kind of context, but it is the most important key, right? Praying like, God, how do you want me to raise this child, right? And I think we hit on that last time in terms of each child is so different. So even the way I'm learning to parent my son versus my daughter, and their personalities are so different. And so it's like, okay, God, well, we thought we had it. Just when we thought we were figuring it out, here's somebody else, right, with a whole nother personality. How do we do this? And it's, not getting drowned in all of the styles and feeling that need to be something, that you just aren't, right?
Right.
Because there's no better mom for my kids than me. And so just figuring out, how do I drown out the noise and just zero in?
And let's talk about the success too, because we see on the internet the moms who are from A to Z doing everything, and we think,
Oh, man.
they have all the followers and they're checking every box.
Listen,
and so a lot of times as parents, we think that defines our success.
You're like, how many cookies did I make today? Did I make my children's clothes from scratch? And I'm like, I have to work also, right? Like, and so it can feel a lot of pressure, because you're like, well, that is cute. Well, maybe I can learn how to sew their little clothes. And you're like, you better go to work. So it's just trying to figure out like what's for you, because there are these, I think you forget that it's a curated picture as well, that we're only getting glimpses of people's lives, right? They're not sitting down 24 hours a day making snacks and, knitting sweaters and shearing sheep. Like, they're not doing that, right? They're living life just like you are. Their kids are also throwing the bowls off the table. Their kids are also plugging and unplugging the TV. They're doing that.
They just won't show it
And they don't show it. And so it's like having to remind yourself, like, these people have a real life too. I get this curated picture. And so I can't make my full life look like a snapshot, you know what I mean, of their life, and try and be something that's just not even realistic, right? Because where are we even learning if we're having this perfect, right, picture? Like, where are we learning anything? And that's just not, that's not how God works, right?
That's
like,
not how God works.
In discipleship itself.
I remember just thinking that my success was based on how my child's behavior was. If they had a good report card and were kind and weren't mean didn't bite anybody, or you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, oh, I must be failing because they're being mean, or they're disobedient, or they're being unruly in class. And I think sometimes about the prodigal father, right? And just even as he had an adult child, which we have, Creflo and I, sometimes it's whether or not the prodigal father, it wasn't where his child's decisions dictated his success. You know what I mean? When we start looking at our job as parents, because our children have their own mind.
And their own journey. Their own journey of having to learn how to listen to God for themselves, right? And it's like they have to learn. You hit it. I mean, and it's so amazing how that starts from such a small age of because you can have things like getting embarrassed in the store. You're like, because you spend so much time looking at other people's kids acting up, and you're like, oh, that is never going to be me. And then your child gets in the store and they're like, you want to bet? And so I remember one time we went into a store, and before we even got to the shopping carts, I was like, why are you on the floor? Why, right? And so you're having to learn, like, I can't allow this to be the measuring stick for how I respond. Like, even in that, right? Like, because this isn't a picture of who I am as a parent. this is a child being a child, right? And so it's like those constant reminders, like this isn't a reflection of who I am as a parent. This is a child having a child's moment, and my job is just to kind of redirect and move on. Yeah.
Redirect, move on, recognize this is not about me.
It's not.
Maybe they're tired or they're sleepy or they're just wanting to explore and be away.
Yes.
And it's just maybe some biological things, the hormones, the teens, they're going through puberty or whatever the case may be. You know
And
what
it's
I mean?
hard. It's tough, right? It's such a tough thing. I have so much compassion and empathy for even parents that are dealing with children with like exceptional needs, right? Because that battle is even greater to have to, you know, because their kids, they really are, you know, they're just trying to function in the best way that they can. And so my heart always goes out to those parents who are just like, you know, going through it. And we walked up on a situation like that in the store once, and I was so proud of the parents in the line because it was clearly a child that had an added need, and he was overstimulated and losing it.
Wow.
And I was so proud of all the parents in the line because everybody was like, just go, it's fine. And no one was doing it, even like, it wasn't even pity. It was just like, go ahead, do what you gotta do. And I was looking like, I'm so proud of y'all, right? There were no judgmental stares. And I feel like there's such a temptation to do that, to judge other parents and forget that you've been that parent. And so I'm just, my heart always goes out just in those situations, like, no, because it's an even steeper hill to climb, right? Like, this is not who I am.
That's right.
This is just what my child is walking through.
And thank God that He can parent us and help us along the way.
Yes.
In those moments where we're overwhelmed or feel unequipped, inadequate,
Yes.
insecure.
Parent me, God, please.
Parent me, God.
Please.
Tell me what to do so I can provide whatever's necessary for this very moment, you know?
Yes.
And particularly if we can make that a routine and a habit, you know, and make it a part of our everyday lives
Yes.
when those moments come around.
I'm writing that down as we leave here today. I need to, because there's, you know, some things that you think and you're like, no, I need to write, parent me, God. You know, because sometimes you need that as a stress, in those moments where it's stressful or it's a lot, right? You're like, I need somebody to come and be in charge of me. I don't want to be the adult. Who's in charge of me right now? And it's like, we have that.
I
right?
know.
I think we
Some
forget
days
it, but it's like,
I
we
feel
have
like that. I need a babysitter.
Right. Who's deciding what I'm eating?
I need somebody to watch me.
Please.
I need somebody to make sure that I don't venture off too far. Yes, and I'm okay. Some days I have to laugh at myself and not take it too serious, you know, because it's comical. Because I know myself. So it's like, okay, just breathe, and God is with you. And no need to be defensive, or when you know, you need to remove yourself and say, okay, I'm not peopling today.
Yes.
I'm just going to take some time for myself, because I'll be a better parent if I just do this at the start of the day, or go out and just have a friend to meet me for coffee and come back, or go to the gym and get a workout in.
Yes, a grown-up timeout. Yeah, I mentioned that, and I talk about that all the time, you know, when thinking about parenting styles, and there's a big push against like timeouts and things like that, which is fascinating. Because I remember we used to, when I was growing up, people thought that was like the joke, like discipline, like timeout. And
Exactly.
now it's considered like so bad, but I'm such a big fan of it, because I feel like it's so important to teach children. Right? Like, love looks like knowing when to give a little bit of space. It means that knowing like, hey, I need a little time for me to take a few breaths, right? And I think that's so important for us to even model for kids, because it's really modeling self-control. It's teaching our kids how to be self-disciplined, right? Like, I'm going to invite you to go over and like, calm down, right? And I think it's one of the better ways to teach them self-discipline, right? I'm not just yelling at you and throwing you in the room. I'm saying, I want you to go over there and take some time, and I'm going to take some time, and then we'll come back together. You know what I mean? Because there's just the fruit of the Spirit, right? They are of God, but there are things, right, that also as we mature in Christ, right, they're supposed to grow, fruit grows. And so you start from a child. How do I teach them how to cultivate that fruit? How do I teach them how to grow in self-discipline? Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Jesus probably took time out.
And
We
did.
knew that he withdrew from the crowds.
Yes. And just like children do, they were finding him. He was like, I just need a moment. They're like, but the people are hungry. Right? And so it's one of those things. I love that you said that. It's so true. He took time out.
He did.
Yeah. And he modeled it for us. He gave us a great example of just love looks like knowing that I need to be refilled.
And boundaries.
Yeah. And boundaries.
I think you have to learn those, even incorporating them into your parenting.
Have you learned how to draw boundaries? Even as an adult child of my parents, I still creep on their boundaries just a little bit. Like I call, I'm like, I know it's 11 o'clock. But
I need can you help me right now?
Yes.
Can you come over?
Can you do something? How do you learn that? Or have you?
I have, and I'm still learning them.
Yeah.
Because I realize, okay, boundaries are where I begin and where I end, and where this other person or situation or line picks up. So it's almost as if, okay, I'm going to do my part, and I'm going to make sure that I do my best not to go over what is my responsibility.
Overfunctioning.
Been the helicopter mom and been the pushover mom and just all the labels, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, well, that's not my responsibility. I want you to pick up the slack on what you're supposed to do, cleaning your room. I'm not going to do it for you. These are your bills, and these are things that you're supposed to do, you know? So it's like understanding that it's important for people to develop, and they really can't if we're always going beyond the boundaries and not giving them the opportunity, like we said, to grow and to mature. They can do it. But sometimes we're in the way when we do it for them. You know, God, he's like, okay, I'm going to let you go through this situation so you can grow. Because you can do it.
We're always being discipled. And it's the same way, right? I guess that journey, it sounds like it never ends, right?
Never ends.
And it's a loving action, right? Like I'm discipling, showing you discipline, showing you how to, function well. That means sometimes it's tough. Right?
It is tough because you want to. It's just like, oh, I want
to do it for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you'll never learn if I keep doing it for you. Yeah. You can tie your shoe, you know, you can feed yourself.
Yeah.
You can keep up with your things. You can, you know what I mean? It's just like, yes.
Yeah.
You can do your homework. You can make your own friend group, you know, it's healthy.
Yes. And God does do that with us. If you think about it, right? And we complain even as adults. When we have to wait on something, or when the answer is not the answer we want, and God is like disciplining us and training us and discipling us, right? In the way that we need to be going. We can get frustrated, like, oh no, but you can do it for me. God, can't you just fix it, right? It's so interesting how those things kind of parallel and line up against each other. And it's like, no, I got to kind of tell us, no, I don't want to. But if I love her, maybe this time I have to say no.
Right. And it's okay. Got to have that strong no muscle. I'm working on keeping it developed and keeping it strong. You have to.
Yeah.
We develop muscles, and that's a muscle that it doesn't mean that you're mean or you have to be rude about it. It's a complete sentence, and sometimes it just has its place.
Yeah.
That's not acceptable. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to remember that, but it's important to remember that. Sometimes no just means I love you.
So true.
I believe in you. Right? It says all those things that it doesn't say. Right? Yeah.
That's good. No means I love you and I believe in you.
Come on. In the same way God does it. Come on. You got this. I've taught you. I've shown you. Let's see.
Yeah, the parameters there. That's so good. Well, I'm telling you, you are in the position to be equipped to do the things that are entrusted with your care. So I want to encourage you today to start every day with a grace prayer, something simple. God, give me grace for this day, for this child that you've entrusted me with, and to be able to pour my heart into them and them know my heart and my intentions and just not my actions. Number 2, another thing, respond, don't react. Grace is slow to anger. Take a pause before you parent from frustration. We have to learn to just ask God to help us in the area of responsibility and to be the best version of ourselves. Another point is to apologize often. Be quick to apologize. Don't be afraid to just say, I've made a mistake and I got it wrong. It was not the best version of myself. I could have handled it differently, versus being defensive. So just apologizing. And then lastly, another point we want to leave with you today, create moments, not just rules. Grace is how you laugh with them, you listen, and you speak life after the discipline. And so we are so thankful for you tuning in today, and pray that you were blessed by the conversation with Kendra and myself, and get a hold of the tools that are available. There's so much content that we can utilize, resources that are available, and as a result, we can be successful in the eyes of God, and just have the peace that we've done the best that we knew to do, and we see a wonderful outcome. So thank you for tuning in today, and continue to stay tuned to the Changing Your World broadcast. God bless.
Jesus died to save the entire world. Today, he's training us in grace so that we can go out and influence someone else's life. That's why I'm so grateful for the friends and partners of this ministry who freely and cheerfully give financial offerings to support us. You understand our vision, and you help us in so many ways to reach those who are searching for hope in the midst of darkness. Thank you for empowering us to expand God's kingdom worldwide.
Your financial donations into this ministry work all over the world to change countless lives. If you'd like to support our efforts to save the lost, you may call in or visit creflodollarministries.org today. God bless you.